Well, Workday and Apollo Global Management, Yahoo Finance's parent company, will join the S&P 500 index before the market open on Monday, December 23rd. And AppLovin, an AI play that is up more than 700% this year, was not chosen to be in the index. So how does that happen, and what goes into picking a stock for the S&P 500? Yahoo Finance's Blikre has the details for us. Hey, Jared.
Thank you, Brad. While it's tempting to think of the S&P 500 as this monolithic collection of giant stocks, its composition actually changes a few times a year. And the world's largest stock index has two smaller cousins. You have the S&P 400 that follows the mid caps, and the S&P 600, which houses small caps. Exactly who gets added to these three indices, it's decided by a committee over at S&P Dow Jones Indices. Oftentimes, they're just moving stocks from one of the indices to the other as they get bigger or smaller in price and value. Now, the committee just announced that on December 23rd, Qorvo and Amentum holdings, currently in the S&P 500, they're going to get bumped down to the S&P 600, which holds those small caps. In their place, Workday and Apollo Global Management, again the parent company of Yahoo, are getting added to the S&P 500. It's a big deal, and among the requirements are a market cap or value of $18 billion or more, and the company has to have been profitable for the last 4 quarters. Inclusion, it's not automatic. However, the committee has wide latitude to consider other factors that might be in the best interest of the investors and the indices. So Tesla is a good example. You might remember that the EV stock was added to the S&P 500 way back in December 2020, and it seemed to take a long time for Elon fans. But the committee finally wanted to see consistent profits, and then it was added. And when it was finally announced, Tesla, it got a big pop. It was up 20% over the next 2 days and up 70% over the following month into the day when it was officially added. Now, Tesla is up an additional 70% since then, having hit $400 per share, which is the highest price since January of 2022. And let's go to the Wi-Fi Interactive, and I'm going to chart this real quickly. We're going to see 1,021 days have elapsed since Tesla was first announced that it was going to join the S&P. Then when it did, there was a tiny little dip. You can't even see it here on this chart. Then it raced up here, and this is the 70% gain that I was talking about. And then we got a little bit of a pullback, and then we got the race to all-time highs, which we are now challenging. And I thought we'd do a little technical analysis on Apollo Global Management, and you can see, and let's just do a year-to-date chart here, you can see it's up almost 90%, having done most of that climb since the middle of the year. And we can also take a look at Workday, which is not performing quite as well this year. Let's see if we can get a one-year chart. Well, not participating, but it's up a few percentage points this year, and really what the committee was looking for was that consistent profitability. So we'll have to see what happens come December 23rd, but we will see a little bit of a difference in the change in composition of the S&P 500.
Yeah, it looks like year-to-date, the stock up by about 5% for Workday here. Just taking a quick look at a chart I could load up here in the absence of participation there on your screen, Jared. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.